Let's take a closer look at command nodes. In this lesson, we will learn how to create these command nodes and also how to configure command nodes using the components that we learned in the previous lesson, which are the system commands, the parameters, and their values. And to illustrate this, let's suppose that we want to determine a specific meeting type. And after having this specific type of meeting, we might want to prepare some material that we want to access just before that meeting. So let's use this as an example to create command nodes and also to understand how to configure command nodes so that you can do this later on by yourself. But before we jump into these configurations, let's first stop for a second and let's understand what is a command node. A command node in Tana is a specific node type. So if you have been using Tana for long enough, you will know that there are certain different types of nodes that you can see in Tana. So the most common one is the regular node, which is usually a plain text, could even have some formatting such as this one, but the idea is it's just a normal node. But then we also have other types of nodes, including references, fields, super tags, and even search nodes. These are all different types of nodes that we have in Tana. Now for us in this module specifically, there is this very important node type, which is a command node. So command nodes are the nodes where you can configure the actions that will be executed by this command node using the system commands and their parameters, just as we've seen in the previous lesson. So now that you already understand this, let's take a look at another command node example to really understand how this works in practice. So here on the left, we have this example meeting that has a sales command. And what this command will do is to remove the meeting tag and replace it with a sales meeting tag. So if we open up the configuration for this command node, you will see that here we have two different system commands, which are the remove tags and add tags. Both of these have their own configuration, which as we've seen is made using the parameters, and in this case the remove tags will remove the meeting tag and the add tags will add this sales meeting tag. And here you can also see that this node filter is set for this command to be available only when the type is already set to sales. So let's set this type to sales here and let's run this command. As you can see, now we have the sales meeting tag, which means all of these actions inside our command node have been successfully executed. Now let's move to our next example here, which is the open prep command. So the open prep command is configured inside the sales meeting super tag, which means that after adding the sales meeting tag, now we have this different command node which will open up the preparation for this sales meeting. Now let's open up the configuration for this command and see another example of how this works. So in this case, we are using the system command called open link. And if we edit this configuration, we will see that we are using this parameter called URL, which indicates which website will be opened when we run this command. So let's see how this works. Okay, so we clicked the open link command and now we open the Tana website, because here we will find the important information that we need to prepare for this sales meeting that we're going to face. So from here, you could browse and find whatever piece of information we need for this meeting. But in this case, let's close this and move back to our examples. So now we've seen how these command nodes are configured by opening the command node and by looking at the different system commands that we will have inside each of them, and then inside each of these system commands by configuring these different parameters to specify what exactly we want this command to do. Now let's look at another example, this time where we will create the command node from scratch and then configure this to do what we want. So here in the exercise section, you will see a prompt to convert this to a command node and set up the command. So let's understand how can we create this specific node type, which is the command node. And here, using the command line, you will see that we can use a specific command that is called convert to command node. So let's run this and see how this works. Here we can run Command K to open the command line, and from here we can write convert to command node and choose this specific command that we want to run. So when we do this, you will see that this bullet point changes to the command symbol. So this is the indicator that this is a command node, which is the specific node type in Tana. So from here, you will see that you can use the @ key to insert a command or the greater than sign to insert a parameter. Now let's add a system command to configure this command node, where we will define a new meeting type of project sync. So in this case, let's use the system commands that we have already used of remove tags, which we will configure for the tag meeting, and then the add tags command, which is going to be configured with the tag for project sync meeting. So now that we have configured this command node, we can create a test meeting and try this command that we have created. So let's suppose we will have a meeting with John. Let's add the meeting tag here. And now let's run the command that we just created called project sync. So now I will use something that we will cover in our next lesson, and that is to use the command line to run the command that we just created. So I'm going to hit Command K in Mac and I will type in project sync. So once we click this, we are going to run this command that we just configured. And you will see that just as we have set, we are removing the meeting tag and then adding the project sync meeting tag. So this illustrates how to create your command nodes and to configure them inside Tana to execute any action that you want. So with this, now we have learned everything we need about these command nodes, how to configure them, and in the next lesson we will learn the different ways that we have to run these command nodes inside Tana.